Question. Have you ever noticed how different the city feels during the day compared to at night? The buildings don't change, do they? The streets certainly don't change. The architecture doesn't change. Yet something feels entirely different about the experience from day to night. And the reason why it feels so different is because of the lighting. Lighting doesn't simply help us see, it also influences our moods, it influences our emotions, it influences our level of comfort, and it also influences how we experience a particular space that we're in. You know, whether it's the city skyline, a restaurant, a luxury hotel, or our own homes, light matters. Lighting has an effect. You're so high. Okay, everybody, welcome back to Home Decor 101. Ho, wait a minute. I hope I caught you before you went and bought new furniture, because you might not need it. And the reason I say that is because, you could have the most beautiful furniture in the world. The perfect sofa, the perfect artwork, the perfect accessories. But if your lighting is wrong, the entire place or space will fall flat. And that's because lighting isn't simply something we use just to see, right? It's one of the most powerful design tools available to us. Lighting influences our moods, our comfort, atmosphere, and ultimately how we feel in a space. When I first moved into my Bangkok condo, I focused on furniture, like a lot of people do. The decor, the artwork, the accessories, and I think I got it right. However, I spent a little too much time focusing on that and not enough time focused on lighting. Because what I came to realize is that the biggest transformation wasn't coming from the furniture by itself. It was coming from the lighting. Once I selected the types of lighting that I wanted. Because lighting has the ability to completely change the personality of a room. The same room can feel bright and energetic, warm and inviting, relaxing and even peaceful, or even dramatic and sophisticated, simply by changing the way the room is actually illuminated. Hey, welcome back, or welcome for the first time. Today, what I want to do, I want to show you how just lighting by itself, transformed every major space in this condo, and why it might be one of the most powerful design tools available to you. And we're not going to make it complicated, man. We're going to simplify this thing. In part one of the Home Decor 101 series, actually it was tip number 4. We talked about lighting and why lighting matters. But many of you, understandably, you wanted to see real examples. You just didn't want to hear theory. You wanted to see how lighting actually transform a room. You wanted to see examples. So today we're going to break away from that harsh overhead lighting, that spotlight type lighting, and dive into the art of how you should actually layer lighting in your space to make the room nice, cozy, and inviting. And really what that involves is really creating, allowing your light to create just the right amount of warmth, and also creating depth and focus in your space. And, at the end of the day, just creating spaces that you actually want to spend some time in, spaces that you actually want to chill in. And to do that, we're going to use my Bangkok condo and the rooms I've already made over, if you will. We're going to use the living room, we're going to use the dining room as an example. We're going to use the balcony, my sky lounge as an example. And oh, by the way, we're going to end up in the bedroom. So let's start with the living room, all right? Let's go. Now, the living room was my first project once I arrived here in Bangkok. Of course, once I leased my condo, it was my first makeover project. And one of the first spaces where I truly understood the power of lighting. During the day, you have the natural light, it fills the room effortlessly, right? The skyline becomes part of the design, right? The room feels open and bright, right? And, and energetic. But once the sun goes down, the room has a choice to make. One, option is function, right? Turn the big lights on, right? The other option is atmosphere. When the ceiling lights and accent lighting are turned on, the room feels brighter, more active, more practical. It's great for entertaining. I can see things that might need to be cleaned or spruced up, right? Of course, it provides, maximum visibility, right? But watch what happens when, we shift into what I call, the relax mode, right? When the overhead lights disappear. The arch lamp takes over, right? The candlelight, right, begins to glow. The small lamp on the console softens the room, and the city skyline becomes part, of the experience. Nothing about the furniture has changed, has it? Yet the room feels completely different. That's because lighting doesn't just illuminate a room; it establishes a mood. And once you understand mood, the next thing you'll begin noticing is depth. Now check out the dining room. Now architecturally, I love this wall. Nothing has changed. The wall didn't move. The table has not moved. The artwork has not changed. Yet, the moment these sconces come on, watch how the room begins telling a different story. The shadows actually create contrast, and the contrast creates some dimension, and the dimension actually creates depth, right? The curved walls becomes more dramatic, doesn't it? The room feels layered. It feels a little more sophisticated, a little more intentional, right? This is one of the reasons why luxury hotels and upscale restaurants invest so heavily in lighting, right? Because they understand that people respond emotionally to the atmosphere, and the atmosphere is often created through shadows and contrast. Now, once you begin noticing it, you'll start seeing it everywhere, not just inside your house or your condo or apartment, but throughout the city itself. Now, my balcony or my sky lounge, as I like to call it or refer to it, may be the clearest example of lighting transforming an experience, right? Because during the day, it's simply an outdoor space, isn't it? It's beautiful, it looks relaxing, it's functional, it's comfortable. But at night, it becomes something completely different. Now the skyline comes alive. The lantern creates warmth. The city lights become part of the decor, right? And the atmosphere becomes more cinematic, right? And none of that happens because of the furniture. It happens because of the way the light interacts with the space. The lighting actually changes the experience. And when you think about it, that's really what great design is all about. Creating experiences, not just decorating rooms. Okay, now for the master bedroom. The master bedroom should be one of the most peaceful rooms in a home. It should feel like a retreat, a place to slow down, unwind, and disconnect from the demands of the day, right? When I first moved into the condo, the bedroom was beautiful. The architecture was attractive. The floor-to-ceiling windows were beautiful and very appealing. The city views were awesome, right? But despite all those things, the room felt incomplete. It felt more like a place to sleep than a place to retreat. And that's where I realized that lighting, I had to get this right. And indeed, the lighting began to change everything. Because what I wanted to create wasn't a brighter bedroom, or a cave. I didn't want a dark cave. I wanted to create a softer bedroom, a quieter bedroom, a bedroom that felt warm and inviting at the end of a long day. The sconces introduced a gentle glow around the artwork. The stone lamp adds warmth and softness. The lighting beneath the birds of paradise kind of creates a depth and a subtle shadow. The reading corner becomes its own destination, right, within the room. The candlelight introduces movement and atmosphere, and the illuminated shelving adds another layer of warmth without demanding attention. Individually, none of these light sources are dramatic, right? But together, they completely change the feeling and the vibe in the room. By now, you probably noticed something, right? None of these spaces rely on a single light source. And that's because the most successful rooms don't use one type of lighting. They use layers. There's your ambient lighting that just creates a comfortable, cozy environment, of atmosphere and vibe. The ambient lighting is provided by three sources. The small lamp on the TV console, the overhead lamp over top of the hanging overhead lamp over top of the coffee table, and also the soft lamp lighting on the table on the balcony. Ambient lighting is really the foundation, right? It's the lighting responsible for creating the overall mood of the room. The arch lamp in the living room, the cream stone lamp even in my bedroom, the floor lamp behind the reading chair in the bedroom as well. And the thing about the ambient lighting, it's not designed really to command attention. The ambient lighting is really designed to create the atmosphere that you want. And then there's also what's called task lighting. Task lighting actually serves a different purpose. It helps us perform specific activities. Case in point is the task light behind the very comfortable, relaxing chair by the window, right? That particular light, it's ambient, has an ambient reflection to it, but it also serves as a task light for reading, working, wrapped in that particular corner when the light is dim, when it's dark outside, and also just to help me relax. It's more focused, more intentional, and often, located exactly where you need it. And then there's what's called accent lighting, and that's what we have here with the sconces here in the dining room area. Accent lighting, isn't there actually to doesn't design really to illuminate the room as much as it is there to just to create interest, to create depth, and create a little visual drama, as they say. The sconces in the dining room, the bookshelf lighted in the bedroom, the sconce up above the lamp next to the picture that also have on the opposite side the soft lighting that's reflecting up through the birds of paradise plant on the other side of the bed. All of those are accent lights. The lantern on the balcony even, these particular lights they're not performing a task, but they're just creating an experience, creating again a mood, a vibe, if you will. So if you take anything from this video, know that when ambient lighting, task lighting, and accent lighting work together, a room stops feeling ordinary, and it really starts to feel really intentional. Each light source has a way of actually contributing to the overall experience of being in the space. One of the main point about accent light, I think is important, is that it actually draws attention to details in your space that might, otherwise kind of go unnoticed. So whether it's the living room, dining room, bedroom, the balcony, or even an entire city, the most memorable spaces of all have one thing in common. They understand how to create an experience. And more often than not, that experience begins with light. So the next time you're thinking about transforming a room, don't just start by asking what furniture you might need. Start by asking how you want the space to feel. Because when you get the lighting right, everything else begins to fall into place. If you stuck with me to the end of this video, look, I appreciate you. Keep creating spaces that make you feel good, that make your home feel just right. I hope you decide to like, share, and of course hype the video. And of course, you're chilling with the A. This is the Bangkok edition, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.